Okay, so this is my second video of the day. I just filmed a 20-minute video. I'm probably gonna film another one, and I'm sorry for anybody who has to watch this, but I mean, who wants to watch it, but like, yeah. So in the previous video, I mean, rather in the other one, I don't know which one I'm gonna upload first. In the other one, I kind of talked about something that happened that prompted me to make this video, and I kind of touched a little bit on like the surface level shit as to why I want to make this video. Largely because my internet is down. I have shit to do, but I don't want to do it. Um, and I am trying to distract myself as much as possible from not feeling the digestion that's happening in my body right now. Okay, so this video is going to be about old people and why old people, children, to an extent children, and why my tolerance for them is not, I feel, where it should be. Okay, so I consider myself to be a very, very, I mean, I'm kind of old school in terms of like music taste and shit, but I feel like generally I am a citizen of the the new modern technological world. I mean, I may not be super tech savvy lah, but I have all the like supposed characteristics of people who have been inducted into this internet run like technology dominated world, in the sense that I grew up with siblings who were a lot older than me, and so I learned how to like basically isolate myself, and that has kind of been further that has been further magnified with the internet, because like with things like smartphones you kind of have the excuse to just sit there and like do your own shit and interact with people in a way that isn't in real life. So sometimes I find it very, very difficult to like talk to people in real life, because I'd sometimes, not all the time, I'd much rather just be on my phone like watching anime or something. But basically what happened just now was that um I was watching Clannad and Sherlock in my room, because the Wi-Fi in my room is really shit. And it's very, very PMSy, so sometimes it has Wi-Fi and sometimes it doesn't. So I was watching like some parody of Game of Thrones just now on YouTube when the Wi-Fi crashed, and then immediately I kind of reverted to watching anime and Sherlock, because those are like preloaded streamed episodes, so they won't like crash on you in the middle if of or they won't like buffer if your Wi-Fi crashes. So after I finished like 2 episodes of Clannad, which I knew, like, basically the storyline has all the elements of like me being really, really sad about it, but for some reason I couldn't force myself to be sad about it. I was too numb lah, okay. But I watched it anyway lah. Then I went outside to go and like stream some more like episodes of Clannad, when the Wi-Fi crashed. And when I say crashed, I mean like crash. Not like shitty, it's not like shitty, but it just wouldn't work on my com. And I don't know if it was like a house-wide thing or whatever. And the worst part is that both of my brothers, I think both of my brothers aren't home. So I can't like go and ask them, hey, is it working on your com? Is it not? Because I don't know, I was the only one home lah. And then I was so frustrated because I went to the router, I tried to turn it on and turn it off, and nothing was happening. And um my computer just couldn't connect to the Wi-Fi, and I was so angry. Like, I can't remember the last time I was so irritated. Okay, I wasn't angry, I was irritated. I was irritated at the lack of Wi-Fi, because there are few things in the world that irritate me more than like slow Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi crashing when I need it. Those other things being like being around stupid people. I mean, okay, not stupid people, but like people who I feel are of I very wrongly, but still, no one is stupider than anyone else. I just feel like they are, okay. So being around people with like bad grammar, or being around people who repeat themselves a lot, or uninteresting people, or worst case scenario is probably like my parents or people who are above a certain age and who are not like cool. I mean, that's such a horrible thing to be saying, but it's true. Okay, so basically, what happened just now was that I was like trying to get the Wi-Fi on my computer to work, and I was like slowly descending into madness as I was like mindlessly eating some pieces of pear, and my mom like flung me a cup of chrysanthemum tea, and she was like, "Hey, drink this," and then my uncle came up to me, and he's learned, like, my uncle is a very smart man. Let me just clarify this. He went to RI. He's relatively old, but I really take my hat off to him because I mean, I think he survived World War II, and he's older than Singapore is, and like quite a lot older, like I think 70 or 60 something. And he was like, he's learning Chinese now at that age, and he's actually, I think he's better than me. So what happened just now was that I was trying to work the Wi-Fi, being very, very visibly irritated, and then he came up to me with this orange file and was like, "Hey, can I bother you for a second?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And he came up to me and was like, "Hey," and then I saw him wielding this like page of Chinese characters, and I was like, "Oh my god, no, no, get it out of my face!" And then he was like, "Can I ask you something?" And I said, "You know what? Honestly, whatever you're reading now, is probably more proficient than me because after my Chinese A levels, I basically flung everything out the window, and am only going to recollect it if, touch wood, I should intensely touches wood, but if I should have to retake it again next year, in which case I will cry." Very, very much I will cry. But yeah, so he was like, yeah, he asked me some shit, and then he pointed to these characters and was like, I mean, no, I mean, it would just take like a couple of minutes. And then he started reading it to me like, 这本地 something something. Then he was like, what does this mean? I was like, I don't know. And then he was like, oh, okay. And okay, this video is not turning out as well as I hoped it would, but basically I wanted to talk about why I get irritated at old people, and it's mainly because I feel like my brain is working at a much faster pace than them, and also there's the whole generation gap thing where if our world is changing so much, our mindsets have definitely changed a lot too, and the way my mom thinks is very, very different from the way I think. And oh my god, let me just tell you what happened just now. Oh my god. So she was offering my aunt some chrysanthemum tea, right? And she was like, "Eh Ling you want chrysanthemum tea with or without sugar?" And my aunt was like, "Oh, without sugar, please." And my mom was like, "You sure or not? You sure you want without sugar or not? It's very bitter, you know." Then my aunt was like, "Yeah, yeah, I normally take it without sugar." And my mom went like three times continuously, and was like, "You sure or not? You sure or not? Come lah, I give you the one with sugar lah. You sure or not?" And I'm like, what? I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I think I cannot talk to old people because I don't understand them. I don't understand what happens in their brains. I don't understand why sometimes they do things in like the most inefficient way possible, or the most illogical way possible, and it's all for things like sentiment, or like 面子, you know, like, no, 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 like, you take it lah, no, 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 I won't, I feel bad, you take it, and like, just somebody take the thing, you know what I mean? It's so, I'm sorry, I'm really incoherent right now, because when I'm emotional, I'm incoherent. I mean, I'm not emotional, I mean, like, I'm not crying or anything, I might sound like I am, but I'm not, but it's just very frustrating. It's very frustrating, especially when I was in the middle of an episode, and you know, like when you're watching something, you don't want people to like bother you, and I swear to God, like in the future, if and when I have roommates that I have to live with, if they bother me when I'm like watching a movie for something stupid like can you do you have a plaster or something, and it's not like a major cut, it's like a, oh fuck, you know what I mean lah. If they bother me for something stupid, right, and I'm in the middle of like a show and I'm getting either visibly emotional or I'm trying to get myself to get into it, right, like get into the mood, and then you like freaking break my train of thought like that, right, I will get so angry. I swear to God, sometimes, right, if it weren't my mom or my dad like doing the interrupting, right, I would just straight up like slap a bitch, you know, I would like just whip a bitch, just how aggressive I was just now. I was like, I had a very, very difficult time like keeping my cool, to the point where I had to like ask to be excused, and I didn't even go to the washroom because I knew that if I went to the toilet I would just puke my guts out. So I went upstairs, I stuffed my face with like a little bit of chocolate, like, okay, not a little bit, quite a lot of chocolate, and I had to like hyperventilate and get myself to calm down before I was ready to go downstairs and like talk to my uncle without like breaking his neck or something, because that's what happens when I get angry. I feel this like surge of anger, and I just need to like punch a wall or something, which is why people, I mean, people, I in primary school and secondary school, a lot of people were scared of me, and I always said that I never understood why, and I realized that I understood why. It's just that I never channeled any of my anger to like other people. When I scold people, right, it's not because I want to scold them. Generally, when I'm angry with people, I tend to sit down and talk to them. I don't actually, when I scold people, right, it's not real. It's very much for the 面子 or for whatever, you know, like for drama's sake, because I feel like sometimes if you use drama and if you appeal to people's emotions, it gets to them more than if you sit down and talk to them logically, because some people just don't have it in their heads to listen or to believe or to understand the gravity of a problem, you know. So yeah, I never scolded anyone, but it's just little things like the fact that people knew I carried a knife around, and people knew that when I was angry I would do things like punch a wall or whatever, and then the next morning they would like see the marks on my knuckles, like the like little kind of blood clotty, scrapey looking things on my knuckles, and they would be like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, no, I just fell down. And then when I open up to some people and tell them like, yeah, I was fucking angry, I punched the wall, somehow or rather the word spreads and everyone's like, oh my God, she punched the wall, she punched the wall. And I'm like, no, I punched the wall, I didn't punch you, right? Like, so yeah, I think sometimes people tend to see the way I abuse myself and are afraid that I will like kind of turn on them, which is why I got so confused in the first place, because when I'm angry I don't channel it to other people. I keep it within myself, or I leave when I need to leave and like get everything out of my system before I come back, because I think it's like kind of shitty lah if you go there and you get all like passive aggressive with people or whatever, you know. But then again, that's just my mindset lah. Maybe passive aggressiveness counts for more like productivity, especially in Ashley's eyes, but I can't be bothered to let myself like experience the full force of my anger and actually take it out on someone, because I know instantly that after that I'll regret it. So, oh God, that's, yeah, it's just anger, right? I can't, there's no other way to describe it. There's no other way to describe the amount of like, when I'm angry, I'm like probably the worst person I can, the worst version of myself I can be, because at least when I'm sad, I'm not really destructive to other people. I'm just destructive to myself, because there's like a lot of like, oh, I'm so sad, I just want to die. Sorry, my hand just like slipped. It's like, oh, I'm so sad, I want to die, and it's all stuff that affects me and not anyone else. But when I get angry, right, I get very judgmental. I mean, I'm already a judgmental person to begin with, but I get even more judgmental. I'm like, oh my goodness, they have to stop talking, or like, oh my goodness, everybody needs to shut up, or put their heads together and actually come up with something efficient instead of worrying, you know. And like, I'm very cutthroat when I'm angry, so I guess that's why I really, really hope that we get to do some Muay Thai or martial arts, because I don't know if I can keep living like this, where I have to shove my anger down somewhere and not like let it out, because not letting it out is very, very difficult. It because I know that it doesn't go away, and I know that it stays somewhere in my head, and then it will come back to like bite me in the ass one day when I least expect it. So yeah, I think that's the end of this vlog. I am feeling generally better. Don't think I'm gonna puke anytime soon, but I really, 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 really want to keep watching my anime. Either that or I'm just gonna sleep. So yeah, that's the end of my vlog. Bye.